Okay. Good evening, students. Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma. So now we'll start the class. Yesterday we have discussed about the different chromosomal manipulation or the gene manipulation that are being used in fishes. Okay. So what are those gene manipulation techniques that we have seen? We have seen what are androgenesis, and then gynogenesis. Then we have also talked about the polyploidy and all those things and how they are produced. So by manipulating the genes, by adopting various methods like giving the shock treatment or inactivating the gametes, either the sperms or the ova, and also by giving different types of treatment. It may be temperature, pressure, okay, shock or the chemical treatment, how we can manipulate the genes and try to produce the different what do you say, the organisms, that means the fishes. Okay, so next we have also discussed about the cryopreservation. Now what is cryopreservation? Now cryopreservation is nothing but the preservation of the gametes, whether it may be the ova or the sperms. So we have to preserve them, and because of the different what do you say, the maturation period, and also the to produce actually more number of fishes that will be helpful in the for the aquaculture, farming and all those things, we need to actually preserve the gametes, whether it may be the ova or the sperm. So we have seen what actually you mean by cryopreservation, and they say that actually you can preserve, it is easier to preserve the what is that, sperms rather than the ova, because the ova actually are very hard and they are covered by a hard membrane, So it is very, very difficult, and also they are larger in size. So we have seen how what are the different methods that are adopted by various scientists to preserve the what is that the sperms. Okay. The next, now today we are going to talk about the breeding. So what actually you mean by breeding? Breeding is nothing but going for the reproductive cycle, means to bring about the reproduction in the fishes. Now, before we go to that, there are different types of breeding mechanisms. Now we will see
Ma'am,
what
it's in which chapter?
this is. Breeding, ma, bund breeding. You have
Chapter
you,
1.
yeah, it is there. I think I don't have the I mean chapter number. You see, almost it is towards the last. After seed collection, after
This
seed
one.
collection, you have bund breeding and induced breeding.
Unbelieving is there.
So you have bund breeding and induced breeding are there. So today we are going to discuss seed collection. I will tell you tomorrow. So today we will discuss about what is bund breeding and what is induced breeding. Okay, I think this induced breeding we have already seen in the practicals, no? That is hypophysation, where you need to extract the pituitary gland, and then you have to prepare the extract of that, and you have to inject into the fishes. Okay. Now, first, before going to that, we will talk about what is bund breeding. Now, what do you mean by bund? Bund is nothing but it is a type of perennial and a seasonal tank. So it is nothing but a tank, okay, or an impoundment where the riverine conditions actually are simulated and where major calves are known to breed. So here, what do they see? It is nothing but actually prepared artificially. So it is a type of perennial as well as and a seasonal tank or an impoundment, small impoundment, okay, where the riverine conditions actually are simulated so that the major crops can be, allowed to breed. Okay, so after a heavy shower, what do they do is the buns receive large quantity of rainwater with washings from their catchment areas and provide large shallow areas that serve as spawning grounds for the fishes. So actually, basically, these buns they build it near the rivers. Okay, so during the rainy season, what happens? Large amount of water actually will be collected in the rivers. So what happens is after the heavy rain, the water from the rivers actually, or the buns which are located or which are actually being constructed near the rivers, they will receive what large quantity of the rainwater, no? So that it will provide what a shallow area that will serve as a purpose for the spawning grounds for the fishes. Okay. Now the first bun that is called as a dry bun was set up in Madhya Pradesh. Okay. The first bun. What is bun? What is bun? Bun is nothing but a perennial or a seasonal tank or an impoundment where the riverine conditions, means it is a not a natural river. Actually the riverine conditions actually are simulated here so that the major calves can be grown here. Okay, or they are allowed to breed. Now the first bun they are saying that is a dry bun was set up or in Madhya Pradesh at Sonar, Thalia in 1958. After this, persistent expansion of the buns had taken place due to its simplicity of operation and high rate of success. So the first bun that was constructed in Madhya Pradesh, that is at Sonar Thali in the year 1958. Later on, similar buns also were constructed in various other places throughout our country. So because it is very, very simple and easy to construct, and also it has shown high success. So that is the reason why they have constructed the buns. So these buns, you know, that is nothing but a seasonal tank or an impoundment. Okay. And these are mostly constructed near the rivers so that after the heavy rain, what happens? Because the river will be overflowing with the water, no? So that river water actually can be caught, okay, in a this what do you say, bun. That is nothing but a tank or an impoundment. So here, if you what happens is we are getting only the rainwater, no? So the riverine conditions will be there in this what do you say, the river water. So the major calves can be easily allowed to breed. Okay. Now there are three types of buns. Now what are those? Wet bun, dry bun, and the Bangla bun. Okay. Now basically most of the okay, authors they talk only about the wet bun and the dry bun, but another bun actually has also been used, that is called as nothing but the Bangla bun. Now we'll see what is wet bun and what are the other buns. Okay, coming to the wet bun. Now what are wet buns? Wet buns actually are perennial ponds. They are situated in the slope of an undulating terrain. It provides a vast catchment area and facilitates quick filling even with a short spell of rain. Okay. Now, wet bunds are what? They are same. They are the perennial ponds or the impoundments, you can say, and they are actually situated in the slope. Okay, they are situated in a slope, and it provides a vast catchment area. Means it provides a huge area. Okay, and also facilitates peak filling. Even if the rain fall is very less, also easily it can fill the wet bun. So that is why this is so wet bun. Actually, what is the main role of the wet bun? It will quickly fill even with a short spell of the rain. Okay. The other thing is it has proper embankments with an inlet towards the high catchment area and an outlet, okay, at the opposite lower end. So actually, when you are preparing a bun, you need to actually provide two in what is it uh, inlets. I mean, one inlet and another one is outlet. Okay, so it has to be provided one inlet and one outlet, because through the inlet the water will be coming in, and if the water overflows, then it can go through the outlet. Okay, so it has proper embankment with an inlet towards the high catchment. So towards the region where it can receive high rainfall or the high river rain, high river water. So there the inlet will be there, and towards the other side, that is opposite side, you will have the outlet. Okay. Then the deeper portion of the bund during summer retain water containing major carp breeders. So it has a deeper portion in the center, and during summer it can retain the water. Okay, containing major carp breeders. Now during monsoon, okay, during monsoon period, after a heavy shower, water from the catchment area rushes into the bund. Okay, so usually during the summer, sorry, monsoon season, you'll be having heavy rainflow. So during this monsoon season only, after a heavy shower, the water from the catchment area actually will rush into the bund. Now, the major portion of the bund gets submerged, and the excess water will pass out through the outlet. It will pass out through the outlet, because see, through the inlet it will come, and through the outlet it has to be passed. So the excess water that is being there, okay, will go out of the outlet, and the shallow area of the bun is called as the moans, MOANS, where the breeders actually spawn. Okay, the shallow area of the bun is actually called as the moans, where actually the breeding will take place, you can see. Now the outlet is protected by a bamboo fencing called as cheva. Okay, so the outlet is protected by a bamboo. They keep one bamboo stick, which bamboo fencing, which is called as nothing but cheva. And the outflow of the water through the cheva can be controlled by blocking the spaces in it with the straw and the mud. So it will not allow. So what we can do is the outflow of the water through the cheva can be controlled by blocking. We can block the spaces with it with straw as well as the mud. And fine meshed nylon cloth is also placed in the outlet to stop the hatchlings from escaping. So towards the outlet, because when once the breeding take place and the hatchlings are produced, the hatchling should not go out of the outlet. So what we can do is we can actually keep fine meshed nylon cloth actually placed in the outlet to stop the hatchlings from escaping. And similar nylon cloth is also placed in the inlet to stop the entry of unwanted fishes. Okay, so even I mean, stop the entry of the unwanted fishes, we can also keep a small nylon cloth. So that is also, this is actually called, this is about the wet bund. Now, wet bund actually is near constructed, or it is built near what? Near the river, where it is very easy after a heavy rain. Okay, when the shower, we can say heavy shower of rain, the rivers actually will be receiving the water, rainwater. So that rainwater actually will pass from the river to this wet bund very easily. So it has got one inlet and one outlet will be there, and in the middle it has a deeper portion where actually the breeding will take place, and during the monsoon the water from the catchment actually will rush into the bund. Okay, and the major portion of it will be getting submerged, and the shallow area of the bund actually is called as the mounds, they are saying, and the outlet is protected by a bamboo fencing called as a cheva. Okay, so this is how the wet bund is being constructed. Okay, now next is about the dry bund. Now this is about the dry bund. Now what do you mean by dry bund? Hello ma, are you listening? Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
is it okay? Hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now next is about the dry bund. Now dry bund actually is a seasonal one, okay, which
Ma'am,
remains more or less dry during greater
ma'am,
part of the, yes ma.
ma'am, this bun, the farmers will, uh, they will build all this bun. like
Yeah,
tank.
yeah, yeah. They will build this tank. It is not actually what is a natural one. Okay, it is not a natural one. So
So it
they
is
will.
so
Uh,
purposely they will build, na ma'am.
yeah, purposely, so that actually, because see, in the river and all these things, many number of fishes will be there, no? Yes or
Yes,
no?
ma'am.
And if you want to go for the breeding of a desired fish, you don't want
Yes.
other fishes. You want only a sample of fishes. Okay, like katla or rohu or whatever it is. What you can do is you can actually through the inlet it will pass. No, they'll come to know if it is a very small catchment area. You can easily identify what are the actually the fishes that entered into that particular bun. When once you identify, what you can do is if you want that particular fish to grow, you can. Otherwise, also you can remove it through the outlet. Okay, so this is for our purpose. Actually, they do it. This is not actually this impoundment or the lake, or you can say a small pond, is
Yes,
not a
ma'am.
natural one. It is not a natural one. Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
So the fish enter from the inlet, or
no, it
we
will
will
enter
have
from the it will enter from the inlet. The water
a
actually the river water means the river which receives a rain during the heavy rains. Actually, heavy shower, lot of water will be coming. No, it will be totally filled. The river will be totally filled. So the river water will be flowing. No, ma, it will be flowing. It is not what is a stagnant. It will be flowing. So what they will do is they will construct near that river this particular bun, so that when the rain comes, now more amount of water will be there, so that water will rush into this bun through the inlet. Okay, so
okay.
that is how they do it. So along with the river, definitely along with the water, definitely the fishes also will come. No, in the river, fishes will be there. No, yes
Yes,
or no?
ma'am.
So the fishes also will come, and then they will in the center they will try to breathe. And there is an outlet. That outlet actually has to be closed with a muslin cloth or any mesh like that, so that it will not escape. The fish will not escape, because once the hatching take place, see, the fishes may come, small fishes may come, or the seeds may come. Okay, you may get eggs, or you may get the what is the sperms will be there. So definitely, when the eggs and the sperms are there, they will fertilize and they form the small. They I mean they form a zygote, and the zygote will undergo further process, and it will result in the formation of hatchlings. No, yes or no? Small fishes will be developed. So that those fishes should not get escape from that bun. So what do? They try to actually close it with the mesh of a nylon cloth. Okay. The next is what? Dry bun. Now, dry bun actually is a seasonal one which remains more or less dry during greater part of the year. So it is only seasonal. Wet buns means always they will be wet, means they'll always be will be getting water. Whereas dry buns are what? They are only during the season. And during the summer, actually, they will not, they will be totally dry, you can say. So more or less they will be dry during the greater part of the year, only during the seasonal one. So dry bun actually is a seasonal one, means that means during the monsoon period, okay, during the rainy season and all those things, especially during the rainy season, when more rain amount of rain will come, so that time only this particular bun will be full of water. And even during the monsoon, why? Because monsoon is a breeding season for the fishes. Okay, now it is a shallow depression enclosed on three sides by an earthen embankment. So what here do? So see, suppose this is a, now here schematic of a this is what now here. So what do they do is here in this particular thing, it is a shallow depression enclosed on three sides by an earthen embankment. Means by an earthen embankment means what do they do is through three sides. Okay, okay. What do? They take the sand or the mud, and then they will try to construct it. Okay, with this. So, but on all the three sides, actually, it has what? It has an earthen embankment. So it is a shallow depression which is enclosed on all the three sides. And during the monsoon season, it imports what? Fresh rainwater from the catchment area. So during the monsoon period, what it will do? It will try to import, means it will try to get the fresh rainwater from the catchment area. And in modern constructions, what do they see is the embankment actually is a pakka stone masonry with a small shice gate in the deepest portion of the bun for complete drainage, and one or two waste wires for overflow of excess water. Now, actually, in those days, what they are saying is they used to construct. It is only a shallow depression on three sides. What they used to do is they used to actually cover it with the mud, or the surroundings on three sides. They used to cover it with the mud or cover it with the stone or anything like that, so that water will not enter. But according to modern technology, modern construction, they are actually making it pakka, because with the, I mean, they are constructing with pakka stone. Okay, that is called pakka stone masonry with a small chine gate, with a small gate. Okay, in the deepest portion of the bund, so that the complete drainage and one or two waves of the overflow of the excess water. Okay, so you can actually try to, I mean, remove the water, and also the drainage system also will be provided. So that is what they are saying. Next is what a dry bund unit, that is apart from the bund, also consists of storage ponds for stocking. So a dry bund, what does it consist of? It also consists of nearby the storage ponds for stocking breeders. For storage ponds means what? Nothing but they are small ponds which actually store the breeders. What are breeders? That is male and female breeders will be there. So where they can store the breeders in that. Then an observation post with arrangement for storing necessary equipment. So what do they do? Another one, they will actually store necessary equipment that is required, and also required at a set of cemented hatcheries. Okay, so they not only store the necessary requirement, okay, but also a set of cemented what is a hatcheries are also will be placed, okay, beside this dry bun, along with overhead tank and a regular supply of water for handling large number of eggs at a time. Okay, so that is what the construction of this is. See here, these are the hatcheries. Now I think this is about the uh, dry bund only. See in the example, schematic representation of a firm with dry bund and having provisions, okay, for observation post, for hatcheries, as well as for the storage pond. See here, these are the hatcheries, this is a storage pond, and this is the observation post. Means a small hut is constructed where the farmers will be living there, and then they will be trying to observe what actually is happening. Okay, so this is the breeding ground. Now here they have seen, see, this is actually the bund. Okay, and this is the gate, a small gate for the entry. So this is how they constructed. And all the three sides, are you seeing this side, this side, this side, everything actually it is they are actually putting the what is the mud or the sand. Nothing is there. Are you able to see this side, whole three sides? Okay, so it is what enclosed by on all the three sides by the earthen embankment. Earthen embankment in the same means nothing but the mud and the soil, whatever that is nearby. And only on one side you have a bun with a sluice gate this side, and you have a observation post, means nothing but a small hut, you can say, where the farmers will and try to observe. And here you have the hatcheries and the storage pond. So, and this is the breeding ground. Okay, so here, so in the dry buns, what do they do is selected members of the male as well as the female, okay, in the ratio of 1:2, breeders of major calves are introduced. So what do they do is in the dry buns is the selected members of female and male, means in the ratio of 1:2, means female should be 1 and male should be 2. So in the in 1:2 ratio, the breeders of major calves are introduced. When, okay, in the dry buns, then what happens during the monsoon? This is because since monsoon is a breeding season, so they actually breed during the monsoon period. So that is why the dry buns, they go not only in the dry bun, any bun if you take, the monsoon season is the best season. Okay, though major calves breed at any spot in the bun, it is advantageous to prepare spawning grounds at different levels, which would get flooded at different water levels. Okay, it has also been stated that water depth where sex play or courtship behavior and spawning takes place varies between 8 to centimeter 1.2. So in both wet and dry bun, spawning usually occurs after a large quantity of rainwater fills up the bun during continuous heavy showers of the monsoon. Okay, during continuous showers of the monsoon period. So here what they are saying is in the dry bun, selected members have to be introduced. Then now apart from that, the spawning grounds also should be there. You should prepare the spawning grounds at different levels. Okay, so whenever the spawning usually takes place after a large quantity or a heavy shower of rain is there, then after a large quantity or the large quantity of rainwater fills up the bun during continuous heavy showers of the monsoon period. So this is how you have to go for. So what is a dry bun? Dry bun is nothing but a seasonal one, and most of the time it will dry. It will be dry only during the
Ma'am,
rainy season. Huh?
in the dry bun, we have to introduce the fishes, no, ma'am. They
Yeah.
will not come.
No, they will not come. But there in the wet bun,
They
directly
will
you
come
have
from
an,
the.
yeah, you have an inlet and you have an outlet. No, see here it is closed. No,
Yes.
in the dry bun it is closed. Okay. So there is no
Yes.
inlet, there is no outlet. Now this
And
is only one gate is there. Okay. Through which actually they try to take it. I mean, introduce the what do you say, the fish seed or whatever it may be. Because for introduction, this gate is there. For you have to introduce the breeders, no, male and female. So through this only they will introduce, not through any other way. Okay, only one gate is there. But in
and the
wet month,
source of water also, ma'am, that is the monsoon season only. They
yeah,
will.
here also monsoon, because monsoon actually is the actual breeding season. It is a actual breeding period for the fishes. So that is why most of the things. But now what they are doing is they are if you are having the ponds and if you are having preserving the gametes, that is both the eggs as well as the ova, the sperms, you can introduce at any time and you can create. I mean, go for the breeding and you can uh, go for the production of the fishes. But though it may survive and it may lead to the production of the fishes more number of, but provided you need to actually give all the provide all the requirements that are required for the production of the fishes. So unless and until you give, it will not be successful. So because see, continuous water supply should be there, no, for the fishes. Without water it will not survive. So all these precautions they need to take it. Okay, so in the dry
Yes.
one, this is yeah, this is how you do it. Okay, the next is again so it has also been that the first smaller sized mature fishes will get simulated to breed, and in order to spawn migrate either to the shallow areas of the bund or adjoining it. Bigger fishes like katla spawn next in the same area. So spawning occurs on hard or sandy soil and on rocky embankment. Okay, the spawning will take place only on the soil and on rocky embankment. So in 1 year they are saying spawning season of 30 to 40 days, as much as 5 crops should be obtained, okay, in a dry bun, whereas only 1 or 2 crops is possible in the wet bun. Okay, so in a 1 year spawning season of 30 to 40 days, 5 crops means 5 times 5 crops should be obtained in a dry bun, whereas in the wet bun you will get only 1 or 2 crops. Okay, why? Because here it is a natural natural. Here what we are doing, we are actually trying to introduce the breeders and then trying to make them spawn. Okay, now coming to the difference between wet and dry bun, we will see. Now wet bun and dry bun. Now wet is a perennial, means throughout the year it will be there. It is a perennial impoundment. It may be either small or large, having suitable topography for breeding. It is situated in the slope of a vast catchment area. Okay, it has an inlet towards the high catchment area and an outlet towards the other side. Now, dry bund is seasonal. It is small, shallow pond or a tank enclosed on 3 sides by earthen embankment. And during the monsoon season only, it will import fresh rainwater from the catchment area. It imports. Okay. The next is here in wet bund, you don't need any storage pond. You don't need any hatcheries. You don't need any observation. Whereas because everything that occurs through natural phenomena only. But here in dry bun, it consists of storage ponds, hatcheries, and an observation post. Now here, the deeper portions retain the water even during summer and contains major carp breeders. So the deeper portions, okay, in the center, if you are deeper portions, no, they will retain the water even during the summer season and will contain the major carp breeders. Whereas here, breeders are kept in storage ponds because water will not be available no, all the time. Okay, so that is why breeders have to be kept in storage ponds. Now it is difficult to manage. Which one? Your wet bun. Whereas it can be easily managed because it is in our hand, we can easily manage them. Then egg collection is very, very difficult in the wet bun, whereas egg collection is very easy in a dry bun. And here mixed type of eggs are produced. No, I told you no, because here mixed type of eggs are produced because so many, what do you say, the fish seeds may be coming. That fish seed may be of different species. It may be of katla, it may be of rohu, or it may be of anyone. So here you get number of fishes of different varieties. But in case of the wet bun, dry bun, desired quality of egg only can be produced. Now, whichever you want. Suppose if you want to go for spawning of katla, you have to introduce only the katla. If you want to go for rohu, you have to introduce only rohu, but no other fish. So it is possible with dry bun, but it is not possible with wet bun because along with the rainwater, okay, what happens is even the fish seed also will be there. Fish seed or in the form of hatchlings or bigger fish or smaller fish, whatever. Actually, they'll come into through the inlet. They will come, so you'll get a mixed number of fishes. So here the variety are more in number. The next is what? In one spawning season, only one or two crops can be obtained. Whereas here, in one spawning season, as much as 5 crops can be obtained. Then next, it is less economical. Wet bun is less economical. Why? Because it is all natural. Whereas dry bun is more economical, where you need to actually spend more amount of money for the what is that, selection of the breeders, to collect the breeders, and to collect the seeds and all those things. Okay, so that is, these are the differences between wet bun and the dry bun.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
seventh point, can you tell me once?
In one spawning season, only one or two crops can be obtained. One or two crops means, see, like here they have mentioned crops. So because in one or two season, only one crop means only one at a time. At a time you can produce. Means only one time you can produce. Okay, it may be say 100 fishes or 50 fishes, whatever it may be. It is not with reference to the what is a quantity. Means only at one time you can produce. One crop means only at one time, one or two crops. Are you getting my point? Here,
No, ma'am.
5 times. See, only one time production will be there. Okay,
Okay.
one time production will be there. Now you cannot go for the second time. But here you can go for 3, 4, 5 times because it is in your hand now.
Yes.
You can go. Now, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
It is in terms of production. It is okay. So only one time. See, when we are actually sowing the rice will grow only at one time. No. Okay. Again, if you want to another rice crop to be grown, means another time, what you have to do? You have to again sow the seeds and then again go for the what is it? Growth of the crop. No, rice crop. But here, that is what they are saying here. So in one season, only one or two crops means only one time production or two times production can be there. But here in this, you can get as many as about 5 crops. Means 5 times you can get the fishes. Okay. This is less
Because
economical.
the wet one is the natural one, so that's why it's one or two crops.
Yeah.
In the dry one,
And
it's
in
in
dry
our
bun,
hand.
yeah, it is actually artificial because see what you are doing, you are actually keeping the storage ponds, you are actually observing it, and you are also keeping the spawning ponds. You are actually yeah, what you are introducing the breeders into it. No, it is not coming
Yes.
by natural way. Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. The next is prerequisites of bun breeding. Prerequisites means what you require for the construction of the bun breeding. So for successful bun breeding, the prerequisites are what you should have. Heavy showers should be there during the monsoon season. Okay, you should have a heavy rain downpour. Then a flow of water from upland to buns and then through outlet makes some sort of water current. So flow of water actually from upland, it should come to the buns and then it should go through the outlet. It should make the some sort of water current. Then inlet and outlet of the buns are to be kept closed after the water level reaches the brim point. Are you getting my point? See, when once the bun gets filled up with the water, both the inlet as well as outlet should be closed so that the water should not go out. So when once it reaches the rim or it reaches the what do you say, rim or brim of that uh, uh, bun, then what you have to do? You have to close the inlet as well as close the outlet. Okay. The next is uh, sudden fall of temperature. Okay, sudden fall of temperature should be there and no definite depth for breeding, as breeding can take place even in paddy fields having a depth of 31 to 35 centimeter. And here smaller fishes first get inducement to breed and then the bigger ones are attracted later. So these should be there. Then only you'll have a successful bun breeding. Then drawbacks of the bun breeding are indiscriminate killing of brood fishes, particularly milters during dry months, result in improper sex ratio. So indiscriminate killing of the brood fishes means actually what happens, milters means especially the males. Actually what do you mean by milk? Milk is nothing but a liquid which oozes out from the what is male. I told you, no, it contains what? It contains nothing but the sperms. So during the dry months when there is no monsoon period and when there are no rains and when there is no water, okay, what we can do if you want to go for the bun breeding, then we will try to kill those good fishes, no, uh, when we try to kill those brood fishes, and if the breeding does not take place, then it will result in what? Your loss. So that is what they're saying. So indiscriminate killing of the brood fishes, particularly the milters during the dry months, will result in improper sex ratio. Okay, because the ratio should be one female should be there and two male should be there. It should be always in 1:2 ratio. If you have the milters, if you have more number of the say males, and if you less number of females are there, then that ratio will not work out. So always see that the ratio should be 1:2. Okay. Then it is not possible to hygienically maintain mud hatching pits. So you cannot maintain the mud hatching pit. So it is not possible. Then large scale mortality of the spawn takes place as they are not transported before the third day. Okay, so what happens is how much ever spawn you get it, you may get it in lump sum, but when you are not actually transporting it, then definitely the mortality of the spawn will take place. So large scale mortality of the spawn will take place as they are not transported before the third day, because before the third day only you need to transport them. Okay, then other limiting factors for successful spawning are uh, 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 okay. These are the three drawbacks. What are the three drawbacks? One is indiscriminate killing of brood fishes. Then you cannot maintain hygienically the
And
hatching
brood
pits.
fishes means
Yes. Huh?
brood fishes.
Brood fishes means the one which are the ready to breed. Those are
Okay,
called brood fishes. Especially
okay,
the particularly the milters. Milters means nothing but here it is a male, because milt is present in the male. Okay. So it is not possible to hygienically maintain and the mud hatching, and large scale mortality will take place because you are not transporting them before the third day. Okay. Now the other limiting factors for successful spawning are presence of excessive number of copepods. Copepods, actually you have zooplanktons in the water. You have number of zooplanktons will be there, no, like cyclops. Okay, then you have diatomas, etc., that accumulate in the water of the bund. So because of the presence of this, okay, other limiting factors for successful spawn. Then large scale deposition of alluvium in the breeding grounds. Okay, so these two factors, what they are saying, okay, these also will work as artifacts. So if you have more number of the copepods and if you have more this, then also there is a drawback. Okay. Then the third one is called induced breeding. Okay. Now, what do you mean by induced breeding? Now, many cultural species of the fin fishes,
um,
particularly the, huh?
uh, from the reader, three topics are covered from the band breeding. More
Yeah,
are factors suitable
yeah,
for spawning. Fish breeding techniques are there. Then
uh,
collection and handling of eggs are there.
uh.
And economics is there, ma'am. Then we are having induced breeding.
Okay, okay. No, this is in general I have given you, so that you need to, it is very simple. The protocol will be the same. Okay, that I will tell you in the collection of seeds, how to collect and all those things. Another chapter is there, no? Collection, transportation. Okay, in that I will try to cover. Okay. So
Okay.
this is with reference to only the breeding. Okay. Now, that is bund breeding. Now, coming to induced breeding, now many cultural species of fishes and under farm culture, actually conditions do not get the required environmental factors for the spontaneous maturation. So, therefore, this has led to development and standardization of a technique called induced breeding or hypophysation. So, through injection of the pituitary extract, the natural gonadotropin surge is stimulated, disregarding the environmental impetus. So, thus it has not only made the major carps and other fin fishes to breed in confined water under farm, but it also added the advantage of regulating the time of spawning. So what do you mean by induced breeding here? Now we have talked about wet bun, we have talked about the dry bun. So there what we are doing, no doubt we are actually not manipulating anything. We are trying to take the eggs, that is the brooders, okay, and then we are putting them in the bun, and we are trying to what do you say, go for the breeding. But here in this induced breeding, what we are trying to stimulate. Okay, it is a method of artificial. So it is called as nothing but an artificial method where all the environmental conditions will not be possible. No. So induced breeding can be done at any time. What we are saying here, only during the monsoon period, the fishes will breed, and so the breeding will be, the fish production will be more in number during the monsoon period. But this, if you go by induced breeding, all the environmental factors, that is the dry conditions of summer, okay, as well as the what is that? Winter season and all those things, they are not actually suitable. But by inducing the what do you say, the fish, we can actually produce the fish at any time. Okay, so the environmental conditions can be made possible by this. So what we are trying to do here is, many cultural fishes are there, like ornamental fishes. Now what we can do, these ornamental fishes as well as the other cultural fishes, we can actually, they do not get the required environmental what do you say, conditions or the factors for their maturation or the further production. So by applying this technique, that is hypophysation, what we can do is, we can go for induced breeding and try to produce these different fishes. Okay, so that is what induced breeding says. Okay, now next I will talk about in detail. Wait for 1 minute. One more page is there. Okay, so here induced spawnings. First trial was carried out actually in 1930 in South America. This was started where the pituitary hormones obtained from cattle and sheep were used to induce the spawn, Mrigala. In Mrigala species, actually, they have done what they try to do is, they try to actually go for this induced breeding. This was carried out in 1930, in the year 1930 in South America, and they have not used the pituitary hormones of the fish. They have used the pituitary hormones obtained from cattle and the sheep, okay, to induce to induce spawning in Mrigala. So in India, the first experiment called in induced breeding was made by Hamid Khan, that in the year 1937, who actually who's tried in okay, who tried in vain to induce the breed Mrigala by the injection of the mammalian pituitary gland. So what he did, he used the mammalian pituitary gland. Later on, the first successful attempt was actually made by Hiralal Chaudhary in 1955, who succeeded to induce the spawning of Isozymus, that is a minor calf, by injecting the pituitary gland of the Katla. So later in 1957, Chaudhary and Aligny succeeded to induce breeding of Indian major calves. So that is how. So initially, what they did is, they induced they used the pituitary of the cattle and the sheep. That was done in South America in the year 1930. Whereas in India, the first experiment was conducted by Hamid Khan, who what he did, he tried to actually inject the mammalian pituitary gland. Later on, the first successful attempt was made by Hiralal Chaudhary, an Indian only in 1955, who tried to actually inject the pituitary gland of the fish itself. Okay. Later in 1957, Chaudhary and Ali Kanda also succeeded to induce the brooding of the major calves. Okay. So advantages of induced breeding are pure and disease-free spawn of a desired variety. Okay, can be taken under cultivation. Induced breeding ensures availability of seeds for fish culture at any time. The demand for any specified quality of pure fish seed of a particular species can be met. The same fish can be made to breed twice in a year, and the technique of induced breeding is very, very simple, and it can be easily handled without much training. And the cost incurred for production of a spawn from induced breeding is comparatively lower than that of obtaining from the natural resources. Okay, so that is what they are saying. Okay, so next, wait for 1 minute. I will try to share another one. Okay, are you able to see, ma? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now see here, they have given in detail about induced breeding. Now again, we'll go through the induced breeding once more. So the breeding of fishes in confined waters by the pituitary hormone injection is called as induced breeding. So here they are using a pituitary hormone. Okay, why pituitary hormone they are using? Why not any other hormone? Can anybody tell? Yes.
It is the master of the.
Yeah, it is a master gland and it produces actually different types of hormones. Among those hormones, the major hormone that it produces is nothing but a growth hormone. So when
Yes.
you are injecting the growth hormone, that means pituitary hormone is nothing but the growth hormone. The growth hormone, what it will do, it will try to stimulate the growth in the fishes. So that is the reason why you are actually trying to inject the pituitary extract into the fish. So the breeding of the fishes, okay, by the pituitary hormone injection is called as induced breeding. So induced breeding actually has been practiced, okay, since just now we have talked more since 1930s. First it started in America, later on it has come to India. So in India also, many of the scientists actually have worked on it and they try to produce different varieties. Okay, so induced breeding was practiced and a wide variety of fishes such as carps, catfishes, clarias, and mullets they have been produced. So induced breeding actually is needed because of what? Environmental conditions like photoperiod, rain, temperature, currents of water. Now this is very, very important. Why? Because in all the seasons, the environment will not be same. Okay, the photoperiod will not be same. Then there will not be rain, temperature. Okay, only in the rainy season you get the rain. Rain will not be throughout the year. Okay, and the temperature will be low or high, and also the currents of water. So because of this reason, the induced breeding is very, very essential. Then insufficient release of hormones and insufficiency of natural food. Okay, because of this also natural food, then mixture of undesirable species and genetically more impure. So to have a pure quality induced breeding technique actually is being followed. Okay, so this is why induced breeding has been done and it has produced number. So induced breeding technique actually they said was first developed in Brazil in the year 1934. Now just now what we have talked, we have heard about in South America in 1930 they said. Okay, now here in the 1930 it's South America first introduced, and but they have used what? They have used the injected the pituitary of the cattle and the sheep. Okay, whereas in the Brazil, see, they have used the pituitary extract of the fishes. So that is why they have given here. So induced breeding technique was first developed in Brazil in 1934. Then India, it was developed by Hamid Khan in the Mrigal. Mrigal is nothing but one of the species in the 1937. Later on in 1957, Chowdhury and Alupuri successfully actually developed the fishes, developed the induced breeding in the Indian major calves. So this is the principle of hypophysation. Now, see, environmental factors are not suitable. So what you have to take now, because of these environmental factors, you have to go the brain. Okay, you have to go to the brain. In the brain, what is present? Hypothalamus is present. Now, hypothalamus has got a releasing factor. Okay, and this releasing factor, what it will try to do? It will reach the pituitary gland. When once the pituitary gland it reaches, then it will produces the hormones. What are those hormones? Gonadotropic hormones. And all different types of hormones are produced, but we are interested in gonadotropin because it produces the gonads. And these gonads actually produce what? The sex hormones. So when once the sex hormones are being produced, that is a male and female. Okay, in the male, the sex, what do you say? The hormones will be produced, and in the female, the female sex hormones will be produced. So when once they are ready, then they'll go for the spawning. So this is actually called as the principle of hypophysation. Okay, means what they're saying, when the environmental factors are not suitable, or when you get a signal from the environmental fact, what will it be? It will first, it will receive the signal to the brain, and from the brain, it will, the signal is passed on to the hypothalamus first, not pituitary gland. So when it reaches the hypothalamus, what it will be trying to do? It will release the releasing factors. It will produce the releasing factors. Now these releasing factors in turn will go to the pituitary gland and stimulate the pituitary gland to secrete the hormones. So that time only, so that is the reason why they say, no, pituitary gland is no more a master gland. Actually, it is a hypothalamus because it has to receive the signal from the what? Hypothalamus. Then only it will release the hormones. Till then, it will not release the hormones. Though we say it is a master pituitary master gland, but still it is not. So there is an ambiguity. Some authors say it is a master gland. Some authors say no. Why? Because hypothalamus actually is the main, what do you say, the region in the brain which first produces the releasing factors. These releasing factors in turn stimulate the pituitary gland. When once it stimulates the pituitary gland will get stimulated and it will produce the gonadotropic hormones, which will reach the target gonads. Okay, target organ, that is nothing the gonads. So when once the gonads are being targeted, then they will release the sex hormones are being produced. So when once the sex hormones are being produced, the male and female will be ready and they will be going for spawning. Okay. So this is just a flow chart. Okay. Of the hypophysation. Is it okay, ma? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Yes or
ma'am.
no? Okay. Now next procedure for
Ma'am,
hypophysation.
but hypophysation is
What?
not there, ma'am. Hypophysation, I think it's not there.
No, that is only induced breeding. You're not getting my point.
Okay.
Induced breeding. If you go through the book notes, you see induced breeding by pituitary extract, induced breeding by HCG, that is human gonadotropin. Then induced breeding by different drugs like Ovaprim, Ovatel. All those things are there. No, we have
Yes,
also
ma'am.
learned in practicals. If you remember, HCG, that is human chorionic gonadotropin, Ovaprim, Ovatel, Ovatide, Ovapel, Ovatide. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that hypophysation is what? It is nothing but induced breeding with the help of pituitary extract. Okay. So hypophysation involves the following steps. That is collection of pituitary gland. After collecting the pituitary gland, you have to prepare the pituitary extract. Then you have to select the breeders. Then you have to inject the pituitary extract into those breeders. Then you have to make them breeding. Okay, means undergo breeding and then later on hatching. So this is the procedure you need to do. So one by one we'll see. Now collection of pituitary gland. So how the gland is collected? The gland is collected from mature fishes or any other vertebrates. Then it is located, you all know, the pituitary gland is located in the brain, no, on the ventral side of the brain. So it has to be isolated or removed from the ventral side of the brain. So when once you try to remove it from the brain, those pituitary glands, you have to store them in the alcohol. Okay. So this is how you have to collect the pituitary gland. Then you have to prepare an extract. How you prepare an extract? The glands, pituitary glands, you have to take them and you have to macerate them in a tissue homogenizer. Macerate means you have to make actually with a mortar and pestle, you have to prepare a homogenate. That is called nothing but maceration. So the glands have to be macerated, means with the help of a what is that, a pestle, you need to actually grind them. Maceration is nothing but grinding in a tissue. If you have a tissue homogenizer, you can put them in a tissue homogenizer. If you don't have also, you can with the help of a mortar and pestle, you can put it and you can grind them with a little distilled water. Then now the homogenate will be ready. So that homogenate, you have to centrifuge them at 1000 rpm for 5 minutes. Okay. So that is how we have to prepare a pituitary extract. Then, so when once the pituitary extract is ready, now what you have to do? You have to go for selection of breeders. Now breeders here are what? Males as well as the females, which are ready for the breeding. Which are ready for the breeding. So they are called as the breeders. So now mature males, you have to select mature males and you have to select the mature females of healthy carp breeders are selected. So any carp fishes, any fish which is very, very healthy, you can select it. Okay. Now it should be in the age group of 2 to 4 years. Okay. So only at this particular year, yeah, what do you say, age, all the, what do you say, the gonads will be well developed and they will be healthier. So that is the reason why you have to select the fishes, okay, which are having an age group or which range in the age group of 2 to 4 years. Then the weight should be between 1, what do you say, the 1 to 5 kg. It should be between 1 to 5 kg. Okay. So that is how you have to select it. So mature females as well as the mature females, you have to select it and keep it ready. Okay. The next what? When once you select the, what do you say, the breeders, now you have to go for injection of the pituitary extract. Now, how will you inject the pituitary? Now, the selected males as well as the selected females are kept on a table, on a cotton cushion. So what you have to do? You have to select the males, you have to select the females, and you have to keep it on a table on a cotton cushion. Cotton cushion means you have to actually keep it on the cushion which is made of cotton. Okay. Then you have to, the pituitary extract you have to take and you have to inject it intramuscularly at the base of the pectoral or the pelvic fin or the caudal fin. Are you understanding? So what you have to do, pituitary extract you have prepared? No. First select the males, whatever the males and females you have selected, keep it on a table. Then take the pituitary extract in a needle and then inject it intramuscularly at the base. Either you can inject it at the base of pectoral fin or the pelvic fin or the caudal fin. Anywhere you can inject it. How much you have to inject it? Only about 0.5 to 2 ml is given for weighing up to 10 kg. Means up to 10 kg of fish. Okay, up to 10 kg of fish. How much you have to give? You have to give only 0.25 to 2 ml of the extract, not more than that. Okay. The next, the female should be given 2 doses. the female should be given 2 doses, namely a preparatory dose and a resolving dose. So 2 times you have to give initially. The female has to be the preparatory dose and a resolving dose, means first a preparating dose and then a resolving dose. Then after 4 hours interval is given between the 2 doses, means you should not give it immediately. First you give it, say suppose you are giving it at 7 o'clock in the morning. Then what you have to do, after leave a gap of 4 hours, in 7 means 8, 9, 10, 11. At 11 o'clock, again you have to give another dose. So the female should be given 2 doses and the male should be given only 1 dose. Okay, at the time of second injection to the females. Remember here, we are saying female is given 2 doses, male is given only 1 dose. So having a gap of 4 hours. So when the female is given the second dose, then the male has to be given the first dose at that particular period. Yes, are you listening, ma? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next, see, this is how they are giving injection. Okay. Injection of the pituitary extract. Then when once it is given,
Ma'am,
you have
why
to
they have covered the fish with the cloth
where
in that photo?
no, it is not. They might have kept some paper or I mean the blotting paper or anything like that, or the cloth, so that I mean it should not come out. No, I mean the what is that? It is not a cloth. This side it is. Maybe see it will be slimy, no ma. See the fishes will be slimy. Okay,
To
so they
hold
will,
the fish.
yeah, to hold that. It will be very sticky, no.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
it will be very sticky. So if you cannot hold it with your hand. So that is why if you have any cloth or anything like that, you can hold it tightly. So that is the reason. That is the reason they might have taken.
In a
Okay.
live condition, we have to give that, no, ma'am?
In a live condition, you have to give. Okay.
We are extracting pituitary means that fish will have to means that fish will die, no, ma'am?
Which one? If you are taking the
From
pituitary extract, yeah, that fishes will die. That fishes will die.
so it's having drawbacks also.
Drawbacks also will be there definitely.
Okay.
Okay. Then after injection of the pituitary extract, the breeders are introduced into a breeding hapa. So when once you inject the pituitary extract, what you have to do, you have to the breeders are to introduce. Breeders means here both male and female. They have to be introduced in a breeding hapa. Then the breeding hapa is what? It is nothing but a rectangular mosquito net cloth enclosure. You have seen the mosquito net, no? What we use at homes, rectangular mosquito net. So the breeding hapa actually will be like that. Okay, so it is a rectangular mosquito net cloth enclosure. Then it is suspended in a pond water with the help of 4 gazerine poles. So that hapa has to be suspended in the pond water. Okay, because you need water also, no. So it has to be suspended in a pond water with the help of 4 poles. And the breeders will mate in the hapa and they breed in 6 hours. So when once they mate in the hapa, then they'll breed in 6 hours. So this is how you have to go for breeding. See here, this is a breeding hapa. Okay, rectangular things. This is you have to do. This is one, another one is this. Okay, then I think hatching this thing is also there. See, this is the hatching hapa. Okay, this is the hatching hapa. This is a hatching hapa. Okay, so this is a breeding hapa and this is the hatching. So when once it breeds, then they will hatch it. So after 10 hours, that is in 10 hours, the eggs will be fertilized. After 10 hours, the eggs will be fertilized and the fertilized eggs actually will be transferred to a hatching hapa and it is made up of 2 rectangular mosquito nets. Just now we have seen, no? And it is also suspended in water and the hatching hapa will consist of an inner hapa and an outer hapa. The eggs will be hatched in the inner hapa and the hatchlings will come out through the meshes of the inner hapa and reach the outer hapa. And the shells and the dead eggs will be present in the inner hapa. They are removed and the hatchlings will be kept on the outer hapa for 3 days. Then they are transferred to the nursery form. So this is how they take. So this is the hatching hapa. Okay. Then substitutes of pituitary extract. Nowadays, instead of the pituitary, they are going for HCG, luteinizing hormone, progesterone, estrogens, ovaprime, ovatel, ovatide, and all those things. Okay. Now the modern technology, according to the modern technology. So what they are using for you instead of pituitary extract, they are using this. Okay. Then ovaprene. What are the
But ma'am,
advantages?
you're
Uh,
teaching today fish seed collection and bund breeding.
what?
Today, which chapters you are teaching?